Well, welcome, listeners. Glad to have you with us. I don't know what it's like where you are, but here on the Shane Lockwood Show, it's always the same. Sit back, relax, enjoy, because it's easy, like a Sunday morning.
Hello and welcome to Easy Like a Sunday Morning. Today is Sunday, June 15th, 2014, and I'm your host, Shane Lockwood. And you may know me as DJ Liberator X or X Rider Rebel from YouTube. Thank you guys for tuning in to another podcast for this week. Now, once again, there's no special guest for the show, and every guest on the show is a special guest. That's just stock standard. And I thought what I'd do is just very quickly is do a recap of what's been going on in my life. I know it's a little bit egotistical, however, that's what we're going to do. Let's see, I have completed actually all of the work for both semesters, and luckily we had a few group assignments, and we had good team members that broke everything down, and I started getting good grades and things like that. These people are fantastic. Now, I've got one little thing left to go, and that is one little exam, and it's a 2 or 3 hour exam. It is a case study. It'll be a couple of case studies. So I've got 2 weeks to revise for that. So I'm a little bit nervous, but hopefully things will go really, really well. The university wants me to graduate in August, so that's what I'll be doing, hopefully, fingers crossed. Hopefully I don't stuff up this exam. I'll put a lot of effort into it, and we'll get everything going in that regard. Now, there's other things going on. I'm going to steer clear of politics and religion. Now, I know a lot of people like getting involved with that sort of stuff. I find that you can debate stuff, and there's plenty of forums for that, but that's not the nature of this show. If I was going to do that sort of stuff, I would do a show specifically for that, and it's just not part of this format. Feel free to discuss comments down below if you agree or disagree or whatever. Disagreements are fine. I don't have a problem with that. I think that it can lead to various discussions. I like hearing other people's points of view because it allows me to challenge my own point of view. And it's something that a lot of people don't actually do often enough. I think that people should challenge their own points of view and think, okay, so why do I believe that? Where does that belief come from? I know people that have followed certain religions or sides of politics for a long time, and then they've switched to other sides, or vice versa, and such and such. So that's not what I'm going to do here. But like I said, challenge your belief systems, challenge what you believe and why, because sometimes, I'm going to admit here that sometimes my knowledge is lacking, and it will be. However, I do try and source the facts and things that I talk about here when I do an edited show. If I do an unedited show, which is a live show, then the stuff is not going to be fact-based. It's going to be my opinion. And that's when I run into all sorts of trouble. I just hit the microphone. Yeah. So what have we got here? The Buck 25 Club. This is a new group. This is what I'm going to start calling you guys, because what had happened was, just a bit of a background. I'm going to jump a little bit. With a lot of radio programs and YouTube channels call their listeners by a certain name. And I think it's a way of just giving people a little bit of feedback to let them know that, not feedback, just a little bit more community-minded spirit, to let you know that you guys are appreciated. So with, I think it's Olga K is a YouTuber who has the Moosh Army, and Moosh means something in Russian. I can't remember exactly. It might have been the name of her cat or something. But she's got this Moosh Army, and then she sells T-shirts and that sort of stuff. With one of the other podcasts, I think Dogma Debate, they have 3 people in the studio, and the rest of the audience is called the 4th listener. That means that, because when they first started off, that's what was happening. Now, with the Buck25 Club, and that'll be you guys, what's happened is, because I'm uploading these videos, these podcasts to YouTube, it's messing around with the what's called the CPM, the clicks per million. So what happens is, for every 1,000 views, they count how many clicks you get. And my videos don't get 1,000 views, but over time they do. And the CPM, every time I upload a podcast, the CPM factors in the length of time that people are actually listening. So for everybody that listens for the full half an hour of this show and gives me the code word and stuff like that, it boosts that CPM. And in the last week, it's jumped to about $50, the CPM. Now, of course, like in the past, it's only been around $7 or something like that. So if I was getting 1,000 views a day, for example, I would be getting $7 a day. And while, that's, for most YouTube channels, that's not to be sneezed at, because you can tell that if you did the maths, that would add up quite rapidly at the end of the month. So, anyway, the CPM jumped. But every time I upload the podcast, even though people aren't clicking on the ads for the podcast, right, and I can't ask people to do that, that's against the YouTube rules. However, what happens is there's a spike in the attention rate because people are tuning in to this podcast. Even though the views aren't very high, like I might get anywhere from, say, 15 to 20 listens through YouTube. Even though the thing isn't very high, the average view is around about a minute. Now that doesn't seem very long, but compared to the rest of the videos, it's double the length of, and you have to go. It's divided by how many videos I've got and all that sort of stuff. That's all mathematical. But what happened was, every week. So what happens is the CPM increases, but if somebody clicks on one of the other ads, as they do for one of my other more popular videos, then the amount of money that I get paid per click goes up. And what's happened over the last couple of weeks, I've been paid $1.25 every time I uploaded a podcast. And of course, it's not you guys clicking on the podcast ads, it's the other stuff. Okay, so I'm just reading some stuff on Facebook, and I shouldn't be. Sorry for the silence there. Okay, we're 9 minutes in, and I've got a lot of stuff to cover. So I've got an exam to go before I get my degree. It's only an associate degree, and it's not worth a whole lot. It's an associate degree in information technology, which is not worth a whole lot in the IT industry. I'm looking at doing something else entirely, maybe even going into radio. I don't know. I'm 40 years old. I'll be 41 this year. I don't know whether it's too late for a career change. I don't know what my options are at all. I'm not an actor. I'm not trained to do this at all. I'm just going by my voice. So hopefully people do enjoy it. I will send some shout outs towards the end of the show, now that that's come up. Yeah, so you guys are the $1.25 club, because every time I do this I get paid $1.25. So you guys are the $1.25 club, unless you can think of another name that's better than that. Let me know. You can call yourself something, anything related to the show if you want. Leave comments and suggestions in the description box down below on YouTube if you're listening through YouTube. If you're listening through Stitcher, please add this to your playlist and give a thumbs up, write a review, do whatever you got to do. If you're listening through Spreaker, now I know a few people had Spreaker accounts and they deleted them. I'm not asking people to re-enable Spreaker or anything like that. However, for those who do have the Spreaker account and you're listening to this through Spreaker, add me, follow me, click the follow button, because the more followers I get, I'm hopefully trying to get onto iHeartRadio, which is a network in the United States, but the rules for that are fairly strict. You can't have swearing, you can't have this, you can't have that, right? But one of the regulations was that you had to have 100, I think 100 followers on Spreaker, and I'm currently around 17. So, and I think I offended somebody, so that's dropped a little bit. But that happens. As I go on, people may be offended by whatever I produce here. That's not intentional. I try to avoid that where possible. However, it does happen. There's different views and opinions and whatnot that happens. Let's see. A few people have suggested not talking about politics and religion, and I've addressed that earlier in the show. Personal experiences may come up. I will talk about it depending on what's going on in my life. The other thing, the other issue that I wanted to talk about, and I probably should do a YouTube video about it, is that there are people they're uploading videos and saying, "Oh, I'm quitting YouTube," because, and you think, "Oh, hang on, so what's going on?" Now, what's happening is that YouTube has, every now and again, they'll release a statement saying, "Okay, we're culling your subscriber numbers for all the dead accounts and all the suspended accounts and stuff like that." Well, they should be doing that all the time anyway. And a few people go, "Oh, okay," and they're using the opportunity to jump off YouTube and end their YouTube careers and things like that, and then jump onto other channels that have a lesser chance of gaining views. Now, they're complaining that they aren't getting the views and stuff like that as the reason. But then if you look at their channel, you look at how often they're uploading video, and it might be like once a month or once every few months. That's why. That's why you're not getting the views. You have to be prepared to do a lot of work, put a lot of effort in to creating these videos. Now, it depends on what your focus is. If you want to make money, then your focus should be on doing something that people want to watch, and doing it and putting like hours upon hours upon hours of work into your channel. My channels were not designed with that in mind. My channels were more focused on the community and helping people where I could and having a bit of fun. And of course, I've got a channel that nobody can pronounce, and because nobody can pronounce it, nobody advertises it, nobody shares it. Or there's people that do, but you'd be better off going with my self-titled channel, The Shane Lockwood, which I'm doing Doctor Who. I'm talking about Doctor Who and Godzilla on that channel. So it's a lot more fun, a lot less random, a lot more focused on a target audience, and that's what I'll be doing with that channel. That channel's started to pick up. I haven't had to upload anything for that for a while because the Godzilla stuff picked up, which is great. Yeah, so I just can't understand why people they jettison channels that have more subscribers than I do. The channel itself is getting more views and making more money than I ever will. But then they go, oh, well, I only want real people watching my channel and all that sort of stuff. Look, you will never get 100% subscribers watching 100% of your videos. It just doesn't happen. What you've got to do is produce more videos more often, but at the same time be relaxed in your presentation. So it's taken me a long time to get to this point, even with the podcast. So what you want to do is introduce yourself to the community, have a little bit of a vlog every now and again, all right? Depending on what you're doing, it might not be suitable for your channel, but you still need to engage with your audience. And if you've got content, if you've got a talent and you've got content that you want to share, then share it. Do the very best presentation you can. Don't insult your audience. Don't insult their intelligence either. Right? Make it clear, concise. Say, for example, if you're making a cake, if you've got a cake channel, you want to be able to show people how to make cakes, well lit, clean, crisp, clean videos, and stuff like that. Right? Clean kitchen, clean backgrounds, because people notice your backgrounds and things like that. When I do a lot of the stuff in my kitchen, it's pointing at the wall because it's the cleanest part of the house. Bit of a trade secret there, because I don't want you looking at my my oven that I've just cooked breakfast on or whatever. It's just not. While it's real and it's home and stuff like that, it's just not professional. So that's why I don't do it. Oh, a little bit of science stuff that I learnt today. Diet drinks do not make you fat. That's something we've got to drum out of people's heads. Diet drinks don't make you fat. Why? Because they've got less sugar. So where did the idea that diet drinks make people fat come from? And a lot of it's from people who wanted to start the idea. They're against like the artificial sweeteners and stuff like this. These are people that are saying that aspartame is poison and stuff like that. And it's not. Now, it can have dangerous side effects to humans. However, you would need to ingest that much of it that you'd be dead anyway. You couldn't do it. It would take 60 years to get to it, like a poisonous dose of consuming aspartame every day. It's just ridiculous, some of this alarmism. That's another thing with this channel. There's no fear, there's no anger, there's no alarmism, there's no, oh, okay, they're coming to get us, or they're, if you don't support the show, it will go off air and all this sort of stuff. No. I want people to sit back and relax and possibly learn something. That's the point of the show. If you hear the occasional click, that's me bumping the microphone because I'm using my webcam. I still haven't found an alternative yet, but we'll see what happens. And I hope that my voice isn't too bad. It was rather, I don't know, something wrong with it. Like in the last week's show, I tried recording with my iPhone, and I endeavour to probably do that next time, but we'll see what happens. Okay, now it's 20 minutes in, so what I'm going to do is, before I go on to doing shout outs and things like that, what happened was the release of a new album by Ice-T. And if you don't know who he is, do Google him. He's a rapper who got into a bit of a bother with the US government by writing a song called Cop Killer. Now, it's a rather controversial issue, but he had a band, a rock band. He had a rap career, movie career. He was on, he's still on Law and Order SVU. But what he decided to do was create a heavy metal band, something different. And the heavy metal band is called Body Count. And they've got, I think, 3 albums, and this is their 4th one. And it's just been released. It's called Manslaughter. And I absolutely love every single track on the album. You can download it from iTunes, $9.99, or you can pay like $1.30 for each song. You get 14 tracks, and there's a wide range of songs covering different, different topics. Everything from like supporting like veterans to getting a job to what else? There's just lots of stuff. Getting out of the hood, don't join a gang, those sorts of themes. You know, doing the right thing by people and stuff like that. Not being arrogant if you're rich. And the whole album is like a basic wake-up call to the music industry. It's very boppy. You can headbang to it very quickly, very easily. It's that sort of upbeat. Now, the album itself and the band and the rapper all have explicit lyrics and things like that. So this is not something that you play in your, to your church friends and stuff like that. But it's ideal to play on easy, like a Sunday morning. However, I won't, because I will get sued for copyright, because this will go straight on to YouTube. And I clicked again. Okay, now, shout outs. I want to send a super special shout out to A.ingrid Gott. And I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. It's A.ingrid space Gott, and she leaves fantastic comments on my YouTube when this goes to YouTube. She's got a YouTube channel. Do look her up. Write it down. It's A.ingrid space Gott, and look her up on YouTube. She's absolutely gorgeous. She's one of the most beautiful women you'll ever see in your life. And I'm not sure which country she's from exactly, but she does all sorts of weird and wonderful videos. Her most famous one is she's wrestling an anaconda. Yeah, so it's wild and woolly. You want to check out her channel. Thank you to Gazza J. Spennies, Raggyragsdale, for your hints and tips and suggestions, and your videos over the last few days have been absolutely hilarious, guys. You do want to check out their channels. The links to their channels will be down below, as always. Something weird happened to me the other day. This is something that I needed to address too. Raggyragsdale had said he couldn't figure out why I had a problem with my appearance, how I look and stuff like that. It wouldn't matter so much if I wasn't constantly harassed and attacked and things like that. Now, I've heard other people say, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about your personal issues on a podcast and stuff like that." But this is something that affects me a lot and fairly regularly. It doesn't affect anybody else, and nobody else has to put up with it, or at least that's the way it seems. But it happens often enough that I feel like I'm singled out, and it can make you very paranoid. But this is a real event that really happens, and it doesn't happen to anybody else around me. So, yeah, I'll avoid the paranoid conspiracy stuff for the time being. But what had happened was, I was just sitting in a local restaurant, and this woman came up to the window, because I was sitting near the window. This group of women walked past, and one stopped. She stared at me, right? She started waving, and I'm thinking, okay, well, is it me? Is it somebody? Is there a friend behind me? So I'm looking around. It's just me, all right? So then her other friend comes in and goes, can I have a chip? And because I was in a fast food restaurant. And I think, well, hang on, what? And I'd just finished my chips. Or fries, as you'd call them. And, you know, it's just things like that. Just people being stupid and stuff like that. But you think, hang on, but it happens regularly enough for it to be an issue, for me to be concerned about. If this sort of stuff happens to you, let me know. Just let me know that I'm not alone in this. You know, I'm just sick and tired of being picked on. I've been picked on all my life. I'm 40 years old. This stuff has to stop. You know, I'm just sick of it. You know, I'm just minding my own business, and people come up and do crazy stuff. You know, I'm not famous. I can imagine what would happen if I was a celebrity. It would be really bad. Okay, so hopefully you've learnt something new in today's show. It's 26 minutes in. Let's see. I haven't even thought of a code word yet. Okay, the code word for today, for those that are listening, right, get your pad and pen or your recording devices. And the code word for today is dog. D-O-G, dog. And, yeah. So we'll keep going for a little bit longer, because I've got a few minutes to cover. Okay. So, just a few helpful hints for today. Based on the Manslaughter album that I was listening to throughout the week, non-stop pretty much, if you start listening to it, you won't stop. And this is addressed for like the younger sort of audience. Don't get caught by your parents if you download this album. Don't get caught, because some of it's great information, but there's lots of swearing and stuff, and your parents won't like it. And it's really, really heavy too. Okay, 2 minutes to go. If you like the show, click like, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, send me a tweet on Twitter, SHAIDO, Shido on Twitter, send me audio files and whatever else to Shane_Lockwood@hotmail.com, and I will guarantee to have you on the show. Talk for as long as you want. Actually, no. If you've got anything you want to discuss, talk to me about. 20 minutes tops, and I record an audio, 20 minutes, upload it to Hotmail, email me with a track, and I'll put it on the show. Anyway, I'm talking really fast because I've got less than a minute to go. Thank you for tuning in, and I might have something a bit more coherent next week. That's all from me today. Look after yourselves. Bye for now. And make sure you keep today easy for Sunday morning.